Hey everyone, so today I'm going to start with a series of tutorials which will be over the next few months I guess, and it's going to be inspired by Singaporean food, not necessarily only from Singapore. Today I'll be kicking it off with Rojak, which is a favorite of mine. So this is what an actual Rojak looks like, and this is the miniature that I'm going to make today, so let's get started. The first ingredient is turnip. Flatten a piece of translucent clay and just kind of cut up little pieces. The next ingredient is fried tofu. Take a piece of white clay and kind of roughly flatten it into a rectangular shape, and then take some brown, yellow, and orange chalk and just kind of put it in a container and shake it up, then shade the little tofu to make it look like it's fried, and then now take some sandpaper and rough it up and make it look like it's very textured. Then you can take your X-Acto knife, like what I'm doing here, and just chop it up into little pieces. And to texture it a little bit more, just put it on some sandpaper and use a toothbrush to texture it. And this is how it'll look like. Now take some translucent clay and roll it into a cylinder, then flatten out a piece of green clay. Then just wrap the cylinder with the green clay and cut off the excess pieces. Now just kind of slice the little cucumber pieces and make them pretty thick, not too thin. But if you want to chop them thin, it's up to you too. Now cut them up into little pieces, and here I realized they were a little bit too thick, so I made them thinner and I rolled up translucent clay into little balls and put them on the cucumber to look as seeds. Now for the dough fritters, we're going to take some eco clay and roll it into snakes and just roughly shape them into snakes. Don't make it too neat, and take a toothbrush to texture it. Now you're just gonna take the same chalk as just now and put the snakes into the container and shake it up. You don't want the fried effect to look too even, so that's why I'm doing this, to make it look more uneven. Then I'm taking the sandpaper like just now and just rolling it in between the two sandpaper. You can buy this at any hardware store, most of them sell the sandpaper. Then just chop them up into little pieces and put it on the sandpaper again. Take a ball tool and texture the inside so that it looks really textured and fluffy. Now take some translucent yellow clay and take a needle tool and just kind of texture the little lines, because this is going to be the pineapple pieces, so you want to make it realistic and do this on both sides. You can also use an X-Acto knife like what I'm doing here, then use the knife to cut it up into little pineapple pieces. Now for the peanuts, take some ecru and brown colored clay. If I were to do this again, I would actually use more ecru instead of more brown, and just use a blade and chop it up into little pieces to make it look like peanuts. And after you're done with everything, just bake all the ingredients inside the oven and bake it for about 10 minutes at 110 degrees Celsius, and this is how they will look like. And make sure, remember, to bake the peanuts as well. And for the turnip, I actually made them flatter so that it looks more realistic. Now take some FIMO Deco Gel, and this is more translucent than the normal FIMO Deco Gel. I bought this from Popular in Jurong Point. Then take some acrylic paint and mix in some brown and black acrylic paint so it looks like the sauce that you put on Rojak. Now here's the fun part. You can even use a container if you want to. So just take some ingredients and just mix it all up together. And this is kind of fun because you can choose how much ingredients of which type you want. So just mix it up and make sure all of them are covered with the sauce. And take a miniature plate. I bought this from tinkleartandcrafts.com. I'll put the link below. And yeah, just kind of place it on top and decorate it however you want. You can kind of place which ingredient you want exposed and which one you want at the bottom, so that, you know, it depends on your taste on how you want the Rojak to look like. And now take some of the peanuts that you baked just now and just sprinkle it all over the Rojak. Here I decided to add more sauce by using Sculpey translucent liquid Sculpey, and I just mixed in some brown and black paint to make it look like the sauce but just a little bit thicker. Then I added some more FIMO Deco Gel to make it less thick because it was a little bit too thick, and just kind of put it all over the Rojak. And if that didn't work for you, because I realized it didn't work for me, I actually used some epoxy resin and mixed in some more brown and black paint so that it looks more realistic because the sauce turned out a little bit too little after I baked it. And I poured the resin over the Rojak after I finished baking it. And here I'm just taking a part of a toothpick and just breaking it into little pieces so that it looks like the skewers that you use to eat Rojak. And this is actually before I baked the charm. So yeah, after you finish doing this, you can bake it in the oven. For your normal baking temperature, I suggest baking at 110 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes, and this is how it turned out with the resin and more peanuts sprinkled on top. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it wasn't the best miniature in the world, but of course you can do any improvements on it if you want to. And if you have any suggestions for any miniatures you want me to make next, then leave them down in the comment box below. So I'm actually pretty excited for this, and I hope you guys will enjoy this series of tutorials. And yeah, talk to you soon. Bye!